Have you ever experienced the mental torment of someone constantly invading your thoughts? That ex-partner who still haunts your dreams years after the breakup? The co-worker whose harsh words echo in your mind long after the workday ends? Or perhaps that person who wounded you deeply, whose face materializes in your consciousness at the most unexpected moments? There's a profound reason why certain individuals occupy our mental space with such determination. And today I'm going to unveil the ancient wisdom of Buddhist teachings that explains this phenomenon. These millennia-old insights remain surprisingly relevant to our contemporary struggles, offering not just understanding, but a practical pathway to freedom. In this video, I'll share 7 undeniable reasons that reveal why someone has taken up residence in your mind, along with profound Buddhist solutions to finally liberate yourself from their persistent presence. Pay special attention to reason number 7. It's the most transformative and could completely revolutionize how you perceive your most stubborn mental visitors. Before we dive in, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content on spiritual growth and inner peace. Let's begin this journey of understanding. Reason number 1. Attachment masquerading as love. When someone constantly occupies your thoughts, you might believe it's because you love them deeply or miss them terribly. However, Buddhist wisdom teaches us to recognize a crucial distinction. Genuine love brings tranquility, while attachment creates turbulence. If thoughts about this person trigger anxiety, jealousy, or compulsive social media checking, what you're experiencing isn't pure love, but a form of attachment. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of all suffering, and this applies especially to our relationships. You continue thinking about this person not because of love's purity, but because you've tied your identity, self-worth, or future happiness to their presence or approval. This attachment manifests as intrusive thoughts that refuse to quiet down. Notice how when you think of this person, there's an underlying current of need or fear of losing them, need for their validation, or longing for what once was. This isn't the calm appreciation of true love, but the turbulent waters of attachment. Ancient Zen masters described attachment as holding a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You're the one getting burned. If this person's mental presence feels more like a burn than warmth, you're dealing with attachment, not love. Buddhist teachings suggest that liberation comes from recognizing this distinction and practicing metta, loving kindness, a love that wishes well without needing to possess. Reason number 2. Unresolved karma. According to Buddhist philosophy, karma isn't about punishment but completion, unfinished emotional business seeking resolution. When someone refuses to leave your thoughts, it often indicates a karmic entanglement, an incomplete lesson, or unprocessed emotions connected to them. Perhaps they hurt you, and you never fully acknowledged or processed the pain. Maybe you hurt them, and guilt lingers beneath your consciousness. Or perhaps they represented a crucial life lesson you haven't completely integrated. This karmic connection acts like a mental magnet, continuously drawing your thoughts to them until the lesson is learned or the emotion is processed. Buddhism teaches that nothing happens by accident. Every relationship serves as a teacher. Those who occupy our thoughts most persistently are often our most important teachers, though rarely in ways we would choose. If someone remains in your mind despite your efforts to forget them, ask yourself, what lesson am I avoiding? What emotion remains unprocessed? What truth about myself am I refusing to see? The persistent thought isn't the problem. It's actually pointing toward the solution, a lesson waiting to be learned. Reason number 3. shadow projection of the self. Buddhist wisdom, like Jungian psychology, recognizes that we all possess a shadow, aspects of ourselves we deny or repress. Often, people who dominate our thoughts represent projections of these disowned parts. If someone's confidence triggers constant thoughts about them, you might be projecting your own repressed confidence onto them. If their perceived flaws occupy your mind, you might be seeing reflections of qualities you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. This projection creates a powerful psychological hook that keeps them in your thoughts. Your mind is actually using them as a screen onto which you project the movie of your unconscious. The Buddhist practice of self-inquiry involves asking, what quality in this person triggers me most? What aspect of them do I find myself constantly thinking about? The answer often reveals a disowned part of yourself seeking integration. Buddha taught that true understanding comes from recognizing that others serve as mirrors, reflecting parts of ourselves we haven't yet acknowledged. When you reclaim these projections, the person's grip on your thoughts naturally diminishes. Reason number 4, attachment to outcomes. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes that suffering comes from clinging to specific outcomes rather than accepting what is. When someone occupies your thoughts relentlessly, examine whether you're obsessed with a particular outcome involving them: reconciliation, revenge, acknowledgement, or romantic reunion. This attachment to outcomes creates a repetitive thought loop as your mind continuously rehearses scenarios that might lead to the desired result. The Zen concept of beginner's mind teaches us to approach each moment with freshness, without predetermined expectations. But when someone dominates our thoughts, we're often trapped in the opposite state, a mind cluttered with expectations and outcomes. You can recognize this pattern when your thoughts about this person always lead to the same fantasized scenario or conclusion. Buddhist practice suggests releasing attachment to outcomes through acceptance of present reality, even when it's uncomfortable. Reason number 5, identification with thoughts. One of Buddhism's most revolutionary insights is that you are not your thoughts. Yet when someone settles into your mind, you've likely fallen into the trap of identifying with thoughts about them. Instead of seeing thoughts as passing mental events, like clouds moving across the sky, you've begun treating them as reality itself. Every thought about this person feels important, true, and demanding of attention. This identification creates a feedback loop. The more you identify with thoughts about them, the more frequently these thoughts occur, and the more real they seem. Buddhist meditation practices focus on creating distance between you and your thoughts, observing them without becoming them. When you think "I miss them," try noticing that there is a thought of "I miss them." This subtle shift creates space between you and the thought, weakening its grip on your consciousness. Zen masters describe this as learning to watch the river of thoughts without jumping in and being carried away by the current. Reason number 6, the illusion of permanence. Buddhism teaches that everything is anicca, impermanent, constantly changing, including our thoughts and feelings. Yet when someone dominates our mental landscape, we fall into the illusion that our connection to them, whether positive or negative, is fixed and permanent. We believe the intensity of our thoughts about them will never fade, that the pain or longing will always be this sharp, that they will always matter this much. This illusion of permanence strengthens their grip on your mind. By believing these thoughts will last forever, you inadvertently give them more power. Buddhist practice involves recognizing impermanence in all things, including your thoughts about this person. No mental state, however intense, remains unchanged forever. The pain of loss, the sting of betrayal, the warmth of nostalgia, all are subject to the universal law of change. When you truly understand that these thoughts too shall pass, their grip naturally loosens. As the Zen saying goes, this too shall pass. Not as a platitude, but as a fundamental truth of existence. Reason number 7, an unfinished spiritual mission. From a Buddhist perspective, certain people enter our lives as spiritual missions, souls we've agreed to meet for mutual growth. When someone refuses to leave your thoughts despite time and distance, they may represent an unfinished spiritual mission, a soul connection with lessons yet to be integrated. This goes beyond psychological explanations into the realm of spiritual purpose. Unlike the other reasons, this one asks you to consider a perspective shift. What if this person's persistent presence in your mind isn't a problem to solve, but a profound opportunity for awakening? What if their role in your consciousness is actually essential to your spiritual development? Buddhist teachings suggest that our most challenging relationships often hold our greatest opportunities for growth. The person occupying your mind might be the exact catalyst needed for your next level of spiritual development. Rather than trying to banish them from your mind, consider what awakening they might be pointing toward. Instead of asking, "How can I stop thinking about them?" ask, "What is this persistent thought trying to teach me?" This shift transforms the relationship from a source of suffering into a doorway to enlightenment. Perhaps they remain in your mind not because something is wrong, but because something important is still unfolding. In Buddhism, this represents the transition from viewing relationships as sources of pleasure or pain to recognizing their role as vehicles for awakening. Now let's discuss the Buddhist path to freedom from these persistent thoughts. When thoughts about this person arise, don't fight them or judge yourself for having them. Simply observe them with gentle awareness, like watching leaves float down a stream. Notice the thought without getting entangled in its story. According to Zen tradition, what you resist persists, but what you observe with detachment naturally transforms. Ask yourself, what attachment or lesson is keeping this person in my thoughts? Approach this inquiry with kindness rather than self-criticism. Buddhism teaches that wisdom arises not from harsh judgment, but from gentle curiosity. When you discover the underlying attachment or lesson, don't rush to eliminate it. Simply understand it with compassion, knowing that awareness itself begins transformation. Buddha taught that letting go isn't something you do, but something that happens naturally when you stop grasping. Rather than forcing yourself to forget this person, accept their presence in your thoughts while releasing your grip on the meaning you've assigned to them. The Zen metaphor of open hands is powerful. It allows you to hold the thought gently without grasping tightly. When thoughts about this person arise, use them as a mindfulness bell, a reminder to return to the present moment. Buddhist practice suggests that rather than fighting the thought, use its appearance as an opportunity to deepen presence. Each time they come to mind, take a conscious breath, feel your feet on the ground, and gently return to the present moment. Over time, the person who once represented mental imprisonment becomes an unexpected doorway to presence. Buddhist tradition offers a powerful antidote to obsessive thinking through metta bhavana, the practice of sending genuine wishes of well-being to yourself, the person in your thoughts, and all beings. This transforms the emotional charge around the person from attachment or aversion to neutral, loving kindness. Begin with yourself. May I be free from suffering. may I find peace. Then extend to them. May they be free from suffering, may they find peace. Finally, include all beings. May all beings be free from suffering, may all find peace. There's a beautiful Zen metaphor that captures this journey perfectly. Your mind is like a river, and this person is like a stone thrown into it. Initially, the stone creates significant disturbance. Waves splash, ripples spread. Fighting the disturbance only creates more turbulence. But if the river continues flowing naturally, one of two things happens. Either the stone settles to the bottom and becomes part of the riverbed, or it's carried away by the current. Similarly, by allowing your mind to flow naturally around these thoughts without fighting them, the person eventually either integrates harmoniously into your consciousness or naturally fades from prominence. The key isn't forcing the process, but trusting the natural flow of consciousness. As Buddha taught, there is nothing to cling to as I, me, or mine, including our thoughts about others. When someone won't leave your mind, Buddhist wisdom teaches us to change our relationship with the thoughts themselves. Rather than fighting them, remember that your mind is like the vast sky, and this person is merely a passing cloud. Through mindful awareness, what was once torment becomes your pathway to freedom. As you practice these ancient teachings, you reclaim your natural spacious awareness. The prison of persistent thoughts transforms into the very key to your liberation. Thank you for joining us on this journey of understanding. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for more life-changing spiritual insights that transform our modern struggles into pathways of growth. Until next time, may you find peace with all the visitors to your mind, knowing that each brings a gift when seen with the eyes of wisdom.